I do apologize about that. Sometimes we have homeowners that come home in the evening, and that was the case here. We had the better half showed up, and so we wanted to make sure that they were able to pull in the driveway and do their thing. But what I wanted to show you is oxalic acid on the curbing. We did this planter bed trim the last time we were here, and just look how beautiful that is. Really is great, and that was weeks ago. So, but we want to show you the curbs because that was done with oxalic acid. The driveway was an F9 bark restoration. So you can really just see what this looks like. Absolutely beautiful. The driveway looks phenomenal. There is no more battery acid whatsoever on this driveway. Not a speck of rust left. And I do want to show you something. If you remember that previous video, what this looked like all the way to the front foyer. So that we have done a full acid wash all the way through here. But what I want to show you guys is you can see my cone there. Now, when these pads dry, the leftover stain that's still there is present. Once this fully dries and you've done the process properly, you will, from control joint to control joint, your pads will just brighten up and look like a brand new driveway. Unfortunately, there's a car here. We had a lot of acid under there, and we had some acid all through here. Now you can see, you see that staining? So that's acid right there, that's acid there, and there's acid there. That will disappear as this pad dries, literally just disappear before your eyes. It's the coolest thing in the world. I highly recommend spending the money on bark because underneath this car, all in through here was full of orange battery acid, 20 years worth. I put the cone here because I didn't want anybody to drive on this pad because it's not completely dry yet. But as the homeowner and I were talking, this was very pronounced. And I was like, oh no, it's not going away. You know, it's gonna be, you know, one of those things. And it just literally, as it begins to dry, it's just completely vanishing. This pad was the worst. And you can see there is nothing. I wish I could really get under here and show you. Unfortunately, the homeowner drove in here right as I was shooting my last video. But you can see, guys, there's not a spot left. You can't see where the acid was. And that's just amazing. You know, for us to have a product like F9 bark, because I've used it years ago and didn't think it was much better than my oxalic acid because I didn't understand the process. And I thought to myself, boy, this is really expensive and it's, you know, not as good as oxalic. Oxalic won't lift battery acid. F9 bark will just pull battery acid right out of concrete. Craig Harrison, thank you. I made decent money on this job today. It was expensive for the homeowner because F9, you know, even if you get 2 gallons, you're, you know, pushing $100. So we used on that driveway 3 gallons, and we stretched it. I could have gone for 4, but I did have the oxalic, so I could take care of the curbing and the swale. But just look how good that looks, guys. I'm really pleased, just really thrilled with how that looks. You can't see any battery acid whatsoever. This was a concrete driveway restoration. And I'm telling you, if you look at those before pictures, this concrete driveway, all through here was acid, all the way up where her car is, just full of acid, battery acid, very unsightly. This whole area right here was a big half moon. And that was just rust iron and sulfur from the irrigation. That's really easy to lift with oxalic, but battery acid is not easy to lift whatsoever. This is the only thing that's left right here. And I promise you, in the next 10 or 15 minutes, if I were to take my blower and come over here and use my blower to blow this dry, this is going to totally disappear right before your eyes. Just completely gone, because this pad was 15 times worse than this pad, and there is nothing on this pad. I want to take you under there one more time because I am so impressed. I understand. Look at that. Let's get under there and let's see, because you can't find, it was so bad under there. You can't find any remaining piece. I know it's shaded and I know I got a bad camera angle, but I am just really thrilled the way that this concrete came out. F9 Restoration Products, bark for the win, big time. And I didn't have a lot of faith, but the results speak for themselves. They really do. This was oxalic acid after doing sodium hypochlorite and surfactant and turbo tipping it for organic matter and cleaning it. And then we used oxalic to brighten it up and to get rid of all that rust iron and sulfur that you see, you know, because you can see with the curve, that's what they used to look like. You know what I mean? So we can take a little picture of that, because that's a pretty good little before and after, isn't it, guys? You can really tell what the difference is. Have a great day, everyone. Keep cleaning. Trevor Thompson, TNT Pressure Cleaning. Off to dinner I go. Headed home.